Hello and welcome back to another popcorn chat. In this video I'm going to be talking to you about Scott Derrickson's latest film, The Black Phone. Now this film's had a bit of a delay in its release, it's been pushed back, but it's definitely been a film that I've been really anticipating coming out this year. I was a little bit late to seeing this film and I was a bit sceptical because I heard mixed reviews, saying that the trailer gave a lot of the plot away. And I thought that straight away as soon as I saw the trailer, the last couple of months or so. But nevertheless, let's get into my thoughts. So the film is set in the 1970s. We follow Finney and his sister Gwen, and they are sort of trying to make it through sort of middle school, and he's getting bullied a lot. There's a lot of domestic violence at home as well. There's also these cases of missing children across the town. I'm not really sure where they're going, what's happening to them. And ultimately, Finney is one of these children that does go missing. And that's where the film sort of carries on with him trying to escape that. And Gwen also is there trying to help him and find where he is in order to save her brother. So the film was directed by Scott Derrickson, who you may know from Sinister. He did the first Doctor Strange film. And I think he did a few early horror films, like an exorcism film and possibly a Hellraiser involvement. I'm not too sure. But he's sort of got this love of horror. And he sort of continues that working relationship with Ethan Hawke in this film. So I was excited to see that sort of duo back in The Black Phone. So let's get into some positives of the film. I think child actors can be hit or miss. However, I think the actors who played Finney and Gwen were excellent in this film. I think they shone so much more than the adults in this film. They've got really bright futures ahead of them in terms of careers in the film industry. I thought that Gwen was an absolutely amazing character. I thought she brought almost this comic relief to such a dark tone film. What I liked about the main character of Finney is the fact that he did everything that I was internally screaming for him to do. You can get quite frustrated with a lot of characters' choices, like why they're not trying that, why they're being so foolish. However, everything he was trying to do to escape initially is exactly what I would have done. And I think that's excellent writing because, that can be quite frustrating in prior films. But they got the character right and that, they really sort of pushed what would you really do in that situation. So I liked that. There were certain directorial choices in the way in which Finney interacted with the other children that were taken by Ethan Hawke's character. And it felt very sort of theatrical to me, very much like a stage play. The way in which they had the children in the background of the shot and the camera would move around and reveal them, and the way they sort of worked and the dynamic of that was excellent. But I have to say that was spoilt quite a lot in the trailer. I thought the costume and the set design was pretty cool. I'd be really curious to see what Scott Derrickson's choice was with the room. I thought there was going to be a bit more of a pivotal reason as to why there was like this halfway line around the room, the way in which the children used the room to help escape, and there's different attributes to it, was really sort of well designed, and the scale of it was perfect. You got a sense of this world. There wasn't many sort of set locations, but you got a good sense of it. The music was pretty good as well. It really intensified those moments. A lot of the time it was quiet, but you knew something was building when the music intensified, so I thought the score was used really effectively. So let's talk about some negatives. I absolutely love Ethan Hawke as an actor, so I was excited to see him do more of a sort of villainous, sort of horror genre role, but I don't think he was utilised fully. I think he could have had a lot more involvement. I think he could have gone a bit further with the character, but a lot of his performance was masked by a mask. Yeah, though I did love the mask design. I have to say that was I loved that kind of theatrical swapping of the mouth. I loved that element. But I do think it blocked a lot of his performance. He's not very much of an actor who can act through his eyes. I think he needs to sort of see everything. So we do get that further along the film, but I just would like to have seen more from him. There's so many scenes where he's not included. I think they sort of could have had him a lot more, but that's down to the script. Same with James Ranson, who was also in Sinister. He was in It Chapter 2. I think he's a great actor. He always brings that comic relief as well. I would like to have seen him involved a lot more in this film, but he had a very small part to play. The first 20 minutes of the film was actually quite intense. It wasn't scary by any means, there was no sort of supernatural element there, but it felt very sort of hard to watch in some ways because there's a lot of domestic violence, there is bullying as well, so that was quite hard to watch, and I wasn't expecting that because I didn't know that was part of the film. On top of that, we have Finney and Gwen's dad. You know, I wasn't quite sure on his motives, his sort of character. After that set up in the first act, you know, those sort of things sort of fizzled out, his traits. Yeah, I wasn't too sure on that, and I thought they could have explained a little bit more about the mother and her sort of abilities that looks like they've been passed on to Gwen. So I would like to see more supernatural, medium kind of explanation there. I think that could have added a lot more to this film. Even though The Black Phone had a delayed release, I was still excited to see this film, and generally I think it was a good film. Is it Scott Derrickson's best? I don't think so. Sinister has to be up there for me. But I think this is a good film. I think it's worth checking out. I would probably give a few trigger warnings before going to see it because I wasn't prepared for that. And I don't think that really was given away in the trailers, so that's one aspect that wasn't really mentioned. So I'd probably warn people on that. If you're thinking about seeing it, just be prepared, especially for those first 20 minutes, to witness sort of a lot of sort of physical and mental abuse. So I'm going to give The Black Phone 3 out of 5. If you've seen The Black Phone, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I would love to read those. And whilst you're there, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already to keep up to date with any latest uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon for another popcorn chat.